I'm here to talk with you today about plant selection for the 4-H FNGLA plant show and sale this year. We're going to talk about what is a native plant, what is a Florida-friendly plant, and what is an invasive plant. The invasive plants are the plants that you definitely should not grow. And my name is Susan Griffith, and I am the Florida-Friendly Landscaping Program Coordinator here at IFAS Manatee County Extension. So native plants. Native plants were all of the plants that were here at the time of the first European contact. So when the first European explorers came over to America, these were all the plants that were here originally. These are plants that have evolved here with certain plants and animals. So some of the advantages that native plants have is that they are particularly adapted to our rather unusual sandy soils here in Florida. So as long as you pick the right plant for the right place, you will have a lot of success with these plants in the landscape here. They also are able, as I mentioned, to provide food for certain native wildlife, such as birds and butterflies, that sometimes exotic plants cannot provide. So we do encourage you to grow native plants for the plant show and sale. One of the best things about native plants is that they can never become invasive. They are available from our local native plant nurseries, which we definitely encourage you to go visit. But before you do that, please take some time and do a little bit of research on the Florida Native Plant Society website, fnps.org. And be sure that you're selecting plants that are considered long-lived perennials. You don't want to have anything that's too short-lived or that is annual for our growing conditions for the show and sale. So pictured here are the native firebush, which is considered a woody ornamental shrub, as is the native cocoa plum, which actually produces fruit that is edible for humans. Another few examples of native long-lived perennials that are shrub-type landscape plants for full sun that are considered woody ornamental class A for the show and sale are the kunti, which is sometimes called a kunti palm, but it's not really a palm. It is a zamia. The sea grape and the silver saw palmetto. We also encourage you to grow Florida-friendly plants. And we definitely recommend that you get yourself this wonderful book that is free. You can order it through the website at the top, which is the Southwest Florida Water Management District site, or you can download it quick and easy at the website listed below that. So here are some examples of some Florida-friendly non-native landscape shrubs for full sun, and these are also considered woody ornamental class A. We have the shady lady black olive tree. We have the natal plum and the powder puff shrub, which produces these attractive flowers when it's in bloom. And some examples of herbaceous perennials for full sun, which would be class C. We have the orange bird of paradise. We have the fakahatchee grass, which is actually also a native plant. And we have the firecracker plant. Some examples, again, of perennial plants. These are more shade-loving plants that would be herbaceous perennials class C. We have the variegated ginger. We have the tractor seat plant. And we have the sanchizia. And a few more examples of herbaceous perennials that are class C that are more of the shade-loving plants that don't like to have full sun would be the Persian shield, the fire spike, and crepe ginger. Now, the difference between perennials and annuals. Annuals are flowering plants that live for only one growing season. These may not be ideal for this reason. They are very short-lived. So look instead for long-lived perennials, like I mentioned before. So some of the annuals that you might want to avoid are listed here. Gazanias are annuals, black-eyed Susans are annuals, and the native plant Gaillardia are also considered annual. Also, growing flowering plants is rather tricky for the show and sale. How do you know it will look good and be in bloom at the correct time for both the show and the sale? So you may spend a lot of time worrying about that, and that's really no fun. So therefore, we suggest that perhaps you would like to grow plants that just for their foliage, for their beautiful foliage instead. And if they are very healthy, they will show very well and they will sell well. This is an example of a bird's nest fern, which is a good plant to grow as a house plant that can also be an outdoor plant in shade. It's very easy, just all shade, no direct sun for this one. As I mentioned at the beginning, there are sun plants and there are shade plants. And that is what that plant prefers to grow in. So they start from the beginning being grown in the sun. If they like sun, they grow all their lives in the sun. And if you try to put them in the shade, they won't be happy. Same thing goes for plants that love shade. You can't take a plant that loves shade, that has grown in the shade, and then put it in the full sun. It will probably burn up. It may even die. So be sure you know the needs of your plant before you buy it, and be prepared to accommodate the needs of that plant at your home. You may also need to provide protection from the cold for some of these plants, especially if you live in an area or if we have a cold winter where our temperatures might dip below 40 degrees. Be prepared to shelter those plants, cover them, or perhaps even bring them inside on really cold nights. Some examples of good shade plants to grow that would be Class C foliage plants. These are plants to grow in the shade that will need to be protected from cold. The cast iron plant, aglaonemas, which come in a vast array of really beautiful colors, and the lady palm. Plants you should never grow, which are the invasive plants. Invasive plants are bad because they get out of control, they escape from yards, and they take over natural areas, and they start to kill off the native plants that live in parks and preserves. It costs a lot of time and money to fight them. So plants like this pothos, which is very innocent when it's grown as a houseplant indoors, can sometimes end up being put outside. So we recommend that you do not grow this plant for the sale because someone may then plant it outside. So just to be safe, please do not grow pothos for the sale. Here are some common plants that are invasive. Elephant ears is a do not grow. Mexican petunia is invasive, do not grow. And snake plant. More invasive plants to not grow for the show and sale would be lantana. Also, the large leaf schefflera, also called umbrella tree, and the oyster plant is another do not grow for the sale. A few more examples of invasive do not grow plants would be asparagus fern. Also, common guava is a do not grow plant. Also, Wedelia is invasive, do not grow, please. And how do we check to see if a plant is invasive or not? You will want to check, because these plants are still actually sold in nurseries in some cases. You'll want to check before you go out plant shopping. You will want to go to the IFAS assessment of non-native plants, and you can go to that site that's listed here, type in the name of the plant, and it will come up with its status as to whether it is a high risk for invasion, or if it is invasive, or if it's a caution for your area. Avoid those plants. Also, please check your rule book for the FNGLA do not grow list. And if you have any questions at all about a plant, please feel free to email me before you go plant shopping. Thank you very much, and good luck with your plant growing experiences.